Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have 4 fun custom planner spreads ready to work on. Let's do it. It is hard to believe that it's already December and that I'm making spreads for the following year for 2024. So crazy. Today I'm working on 4 custom planner spreads. We have one for Danielle, who's wanting a birthday theme, but with black and blue. So I'm going to use Live Love Posh, the Posh Party book, and then some blue blooms from Live Love Posh. And we're going to try some different methods using some of the boxes that have already been taken out of the book. So I'll show you what I'm talking about with that. Jennifer wants a cozy library theme spread. I'm all about that. Nikki asked for a fun spread using unicorns in a lined vertical. That's going to be tons of fun. And then Sweet Shannon asked for a faith theme spread, or a faith spread with a winter theme. And so I have one of my favorite artists from Illustrated Faith, Kelly Bangs. She has a whole series, God of All Seasons. I'm going to use her winter one, and we will be ready to go. So as always, I will put you all on fast forward. I will link the things that I use down below. Let's go. First up is going to be Shannon's Faith Planner Spread. And like I said, I'm using this collection, God of All Seasons, from Kelly Bangs over at Illustrated Faith. If I'm being completely honest, I could use Illustrated Faith printables for all of my faith planning. I love them. I think they are so versatile. I think you can use them for lots of different projects. And so I was really excited to use this set. I'm going to cut this scene in half. Now, here is the dilemma that I think a lot of us deal with as we're working on all kinds of planner spreads, but for me, especially on a faith planner spread, I want this to be very functional. I want this to be a spread that Shannon will be able to use to do her scripture writing or her study. So there's a couple of things that I do in order to still give a really highly decorated spread, but also make it really functional. Now, the first thing I do is try to leave the lines as open as possible. That probably seems contradictory since I've put these 2 humongous images right here in the corners, but the point was to put them in the corners so that they are taking up the least amount of space possible. On a faith planner spread, I have a tendency to decorate down the middle of the spread. In the corners, I want to keep the lined sections very open so that you can easily write right there, take your notes, do your scripture study, all of that business. But when I do have large images that I know are going to cover big sections of the writing area, like you see me working with here, I use printables or printable materials that you can write on top of. So for the mountain scene, I used a 32-pound bright white paper that I love. For the other stickers that you see, these are printed on clear sticker paper. The clear sticker paper that I like to use is the Mako brand sticker paper, and you can pick it up on Amazon. I will link it below, but there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, I like the quality of the images on this particular sticker paper, and I like that it is matte. Now, a lot of people think the quality of what your printables look like depends on your printer. A lot of it actually has to do with the paper that you choose to print on or the materials you choose to print on. If you're using cheap paper or cheap sticker paper, things like that, it won't print as clearly. So getting a good quality paper is really important. So I love the Mako brand for that. And then what I really like is that you can write over the top of it. So even though I put those large trees and those snowflakes, even though they're covering up big portions of where the lines are, it is clear sticker paper, so Shannon will be able to see through and where the lines are, so she can stay on the line, and you can write over the top of it. So she will still be able to write over the top of the trees, and actually, in my opinion, and that makes the completed spread look very cool when you have the writing kind of flowing through the scene. The other thing that I do to help the situation in case I have covered up more writing space than I mean to is by adding boxes. So these boxes, I'm using pastel boxes from Mojo Jojo Plans to get that light pink because I had that one light pink snowflake and then didn't really have a lot of other pink in the spread. And then I used one of the printable papers from Kelly Banks that goes with this particular set. And I put the pink boxes on top of the spread, kind of matted them, and then I'm going to use them throughout. Now, this gives you another writing space. So for instance, adding a box over here over the top of the mountain scene allows you to write in that area. I just kind of place those in some different sections. There's different ways you can use boxes in a faith planning spread. It could be where you write actual scripture, actual verses that are jumping out to you. It might be where you highlight big points or main points or something like that, a concluding statement. There's all kinds of ways to use them, but I thought I would just kind of put them throughout the spread so that Shannon would have ample room to write. But you can see this is now starting to feel like a very full, very decorative spread. However, there's still going to be plenty of room for her to use it in her faith planner. I wanted to add that cute little fox. A, it was cute, and B, I needed a little bit more pink. You might notice I'm not adding any of the girls from this set from Kelly Bangs. I love them. I think they're adorable, but I wanted to go with more of an outdoor feel. I know Shannon will have winter weather where she is for a long time. We've talked about it many a times. I'm sure there's already snow on the ground. So I decided to do kind of an outdoor scene, and then I'm gonna send her these printables that I have left over so she could create coordinating spread maybe in her regular planner with the pieces that are left over from what I've already printed out. That is going to be it for Shannon's winter theme spread. Let me know what you think. By the way, this faith planner spread is available over on my website. The layout is, so head on over and check out all of the new layouts that I have available. Actually, let me correct that. My undated layouts will release on December the 4th. When you see this video, I believe it's going to be December the 2nd. My patrons are in their early shopping period. If you want to grab some of these undated layouts with the really high quality paper that I love, then you can head on over to Patreon or else set your alarm for December the 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, next up is Danielle's spread. She wanted a blue themed birthday spread, and I was excited to create that for her. But I wanted to use these boxes from Live Love Posh. However, I've already used a lot of the boxes, so all that was left on the page were the borders. What you saw me doing earlier was just trimming out the actual borders from the pages. They're still attached to the stickers in the background, but I'm going to use every bit of this sticker book to really get the most out of all of the boxes. That was from the blue floral sticker book that released a couple years ago now from Live Love Posh, and then I'm using Posh Party because there's this great kind of combo of like a masculine feeling and stickers. So I thought these would be great for this birthday theme spread that she was wanting in these more kind of masculine colors. And you can see I'm able to take the borders and kind of create my own boxes. Do they end up slightly wonky? Yes, but I think that adds a little bit of character in all honesty. I'm mixing in some dark blue florals just to soften up some of the edges of this spread. I think florals kind of do that for any spread, but we're just going to mix and match some of these box outlines with regular boxes, with decorative stickers, with checklists, and I happen to really, really love how this comes together. I think it's a fun way to use up all of those little tidbits. I mean, I know we probably all have a ton of stickers, but maybe you are running low on some of your favorites. This is a great way to kind of extend the use and get those colors, get those shapes that you love. You can see there's the outline, the border of the box, and then how fun is this to layer it together? I think it creates a fun background look, almost like a cluster of frames around the page, but you can also use these areas in a functional way as well. Now, before I get too crazy on the decorative part, I want to make sure I do have plenty of function going on. So I'm going to go ahead and put some checklists down here on the left side. I wanted to bump up one of the checklists. I didn't want them right next to each other. So you can see I bumped it up underneath where that frame is. It kind of is awkward because it's hanging out by itself, but if you put a box right underneath it, Ta-da! Now you can float the checklist between two of the vertical boxes. It still makes sense visually, and it keeps it from being all too lined up. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind a lined up checklist. In fact, a lot of times I like to line up checklists all down the middle row of boxes, but for this particular spread, I wanted something a little bit different. All right, I am working with two of the boxes again. Again, we're working with the borders. It's a little bit tricky. It can be easy for them to curl or tear, so you have to be gentle and take your time, but I just am totally into how it brings the color in. It almost creates it could either be the background, it could be the functional box, it could be so many different things, and I think that's what makes it really interesting looking. Speaking of interesting looking, I thought, you know what? I'm loving the frames. Let's start hanging them kind of off the page, which is what is happening right here. I'm going to cut this little edge, so that is kind of going off the page. Let's take the other half of it. This one gets a little tricky because, like I said, it does tear really easily, but my tweezers to the rescue. See how now the frames are like extending the look of the page because now they're going off the page. We're going to add one more of those in just a bit, but let's make sure to get some florals over here on the right side. Obviously, I had them over on the left. I want to make sure to balance out the spread, both in color and in the shapes, in the number of checklists. You can see 3 on one side, 3 on the other, boxes on one side, boxes on the other, florals on the left side, florals on the right side. You got to have it working both ways, or else it ends up feeling a bit unbalanced in the end. And truthfully, that's why you see me hopping back and forth from one side to the other most of the time, unless I have a very formulaic spread, meaning all of the checklists are in the middle, all the boxes are at the top, that type of thing. I generally will hop back and forth just to make sure it is nice and balanced. Now here's where I'm going to add some more typical functional boxes just to make sure there's plenty of room for Danielle to write, but I am loving this spread. I think it is so fun and interesting and different, which I'm all about. You know, on the custom spreads, sometimes I like to kind of push it a little bit, try to do something a little bit out of the box. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but in that case, I think it came off really well. All right, next up is Jennifer's spread. She is using a larger size dashboard. I call this a venti dashboard. And this size is 8.5 by 11. And this is one of the layouts that is available. Sorry for my hair on the top. It's available over on my website. Again, the undated versions will be available on December the 4th in the public, or to the public, I should say. But I am using the wrong bookworm sticker book for this spread, because if you are doing a reading theme or library theme spread, it's just the perfect book, you guys. I love this book so much. I decided to go ahead and do the books all along the bottom, setting the tone, and it grounds the whole spread. You saw me bring in some scrapbook paper. Jennifer requested a dark blue, so I figured I would bring that in through the scrapbook paper, and I would use it in several different parts of the spread, which you will kind of see as we go. And I love the flexibility of the dashboard. This particular layout, I have the long checklist over on the left, and then just a dot grid right there in the middle. And you can use it in whatever way you want. It gives you a lot of flexibility. I'm going to add in a to be read list for Jennifer. I know she's a book lover, loves reading, so I thought this would be fun, maybe as kind of a New Year's spread, some books that she would like to read in the upcoming year, that type of thing. And then this spread is giving me all the cozy vibes anyway, so it definitely feels like a spread curling up with a good book on a snow day. Yes, please. Over top the scrapbook paper, I'm adding some boxes. The boxes I'm pulling from are wrong boxes. They're her autumn-winter theme boxes, which have this kind of darker tone, which works really well with Bookworm Volume 2. Fantastic. And then I wanted to add this decorative sticker. Kind of looks like a Polaroid picture, but there was some space, and I didn't know how I wanted to fill the space. I think this will end up looking really nice because we're going with like straight up library theme. We're just going to go over the top with all the books. Like, there will be books in all the places. I love how that works out. Now, some people might not like what the left side looks like when I added those stickers because it is very boxy, grid-like. To me, that's very calming, and especially if we're talking about a library, I just think of library shelves and being very organized. And so having the linear feel just felt like it kind of went with the theme. You can, of course, change it up. You can overlap boxes, you can create clusters, but I think it's nice to kind of go with the grid sometimes and then other times go against it. Obviously, on the right side here, I'm looking for a bit more function. Again, I'm pulling boxes both from Bookworm and from the autumn and winter boxes, just going with the dark blues and dark grays. I am bringing in a little bit of, it's like a dark mustard color, almost like a camel color. That comes in a couple of places. I did go ahead and decide to do a really big double box. I'm using my sticker guides. I get asked about those all of the time. You can pick them up from the Happy Planner website. These are sticker guides that lets me kind of plan out where my stickers are going to go before putting them directly on the paper, which is always a good idea for me because I tend to change my mind. So you can see I'm kind of playing with where things will be, how they will overlap before I start to go ahead and put it down on the paper. Some of the boxes I did mat onto that same scrapbook paper. Again, we're talking about balance, so we wanted the scrapbook paper present on both sides of the spread. It wasn't out of place over on the left, like if I had just left it there, but bringing it over to the right just kind of brings the whole spread together, which I think is a really effective tool. So just kind of making sure you have the same elements on both sides. I did opt not to add bullet points to Jennifer's spread this time around just because I think she can probably add those in depending on what she needs. And I did do a ton of different boxes. So there's lots of options for her on what she can do. And of course, she can add bullet points later on. Felt like I needed one more decorative sticker here, so we're going to layer it over the corner of the box, maybe add a little cluster here, and that is going to be it. I love this spread. It feels cozy. It feels like pulling up next to a fire, reading a book, and Jennifer, I hope you enjoy it. All right, so bear with me. This is Nikki's spread. She is using a lined vertical, and this one is definitely quirky, and I am very much hoping Nikki likes it. Nikki is using the lined vertical to take advantage of her own hourly layout. So that's what I did. I used the numbers. I went 8 to 4, went down the line so that she can kind of track her schedule, her work schedule, her meetings, things like that for the day. Now I've grabbed these markers. These are Pentel. These are brush markers. They're double-sided brush markers. I'm using the single side. I actually got them from Stationery Pal, so I will link that down below. And be sure to check down below because I have coupon codes for Stationery Pal. I have a discount for Wrong Wrong. I have a discount for Live Love Posh. So always check down below in the description box. But what I'm going to do is block off this section. So that is her work schedule, her hourly schedule, her meetings. Then she said that she likes to have a place on this line vertical to track her overtime and to track the projects that she worked on that day. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just go with it for the markers. This is not something that I would normally do, go crazy with markers, but it's going to work out really well in the end. So here's what I was thinking. The top boxes, we're going to leave open. That could be a to-do list. That could be some sort of family tracking, whatever she wants to do in the top box. Then you have her hourly work schedule. Then right under that, I thought she could list out the projects that she worked on that particular day. And then the bottom 3 lines that are blocked off, I thought would be great for tracking overtime. Now, why did I use all the bright rainbow colors? Because Nikki requested unicorns, which, come on, I love the fact that she asked for unicorns in a planner that she is using for work things. That is a woman after my own heart. I love it. So I created these unicorn stickers using images I got from Canva. We're going to put the unicorns around the page, and then I'm going to do something even quirkier than rainbows and unicorns, and that will involve using some of my pipsticks. But you can see I'm trying to work the unicorns around so that they're not taking up a ton of writing room because, like I said earlier, this is a really functional spread. She's got big plans. This is not just decorative and pretty. This is a spread she would like to be able to use. So let's give her a sidebar. Let's get the unicorns on the page, and then what am I going to do? Well, we're going to play with color. In my Pipsticks collection, I was a Pipsticks subscriber for a while. I've since paused it because I have a ton of Pip stickers, but it is a subscription service and they have stickers individually for sale on their website. There's one sticker sheet that has all of these kind of random objects within a color family. So for instance, the ones I'm working with now are all pink. And so all of these pink objects are kind of just flowing from the unicorn. Quirky, yes, for sure. I hope that Nikki likes it. It's giving me Lisa Frank vibes. I'm sure you've already thought that if you were watching this video. I love me some Lisa Frank. That's for darn sure. But I just thought all of the like random objects flowing from each unicorn just were fun and whimsical and will bring a smile to your face. I'm trying to be very strategic about where all of these are flowing to and on, because you can see I don't want to take up a ton of the writing room. So I'm aiming for the lines, I'm aiming for the weekend, thinking that perhaps she doesn't have quite as many to fill in, but I absolutely love it. That is it for the custom planner spreads this week. Let me know which one was your favorite down below. As always, I will link all of the supplies I used down in the description box below. Don't forget my brand new planner insert pieces. The undated versions are releasing on Monday, December the 4th. So head on over to my website on that day to check them out. I hope that all of you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.